Technology is everywhere, shaping our world in ways we sometimes overlook. But technologies aren't just neutral tools, they are active players in our social lives, interacting with us in complex ways. In today's episode of Social Theory Today, we'll explore how technologies become accredited and integrated into society. To do this, we'll look at the story of Ignaz Semmelweis, the man who discovered the life-saving power of handwashing, and how his idea reshaped medicine, social norms, and even morality. Actor network theory, or ANT, challenges the way we think about technology. Theorist Bruno Latour suggests that technologies are not just passive tools used by people. Instead, they are actors within a network, constantly interacting with human and non-human elements. Each interaction reshapes societal norms, values, and behaviors. In Latour's view, technologies have agency. They exist within networks of individuals, institutions, and cultural norms, playing active roles in shaping the world around us. Technologies are accredited by this network, gaining social validation not just for their functionality, but for how they align with societal needs, values, and myths. This accreditation isn't a one-time event. It's a continuous process as technologies adapt, evolve, and interact with new actors. Building on this idea, philosophers Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari introduced the concept of the machine to describe entities that produce connections, meaning, and flows within networks. For Deleuze and Guattari, these machines aren't just mechanical devices. They're anything that creates and directs flows of information, power, and accreditation across a network. And in a rhizomatic network, these connections don't move in a linear direction like traditional hierarchies. They flow like tree roots across different nodes, strengthening or weakening the network over time. In this framework, each actor, whether human or non-human, functions as a machine that shapes and reshapes these flows. Technologies, individuals, and institutions continuously interact, producing and redistributing social validation, knowledge, and power. Just like the roots of a rhizome, these networks spread outward, sometimes creating new branches, sometimes reinforcing existing ones. This dynamic flow is essential to understanding how technologies gain or lose credibility within society. In the 1840s, Hungarian physician Ignaz Semmelweis observed a troubling trend. Women in maternity wards attended by doctors had far higher mortality rates than those attended by midwives. He deduced that the doctors who moved between autopsy rooms and maternity wards without washing their hands were unknowingly transmitting infections. His solution, handwashing, was revolutionary. But Semmelweis's idea faced strong resistance. He lacked the scientific evidence to explain why handwashing worked, and his blunt personality alienated him from his colleagues. More importantly, his theory clashed with the medical norms of the time. The idea that doctors themselves could be spreading disease threatened the entire network of actors who controlled medical knowledge. Without the accreditation of his peers, Semmelweis's discovery was ignored for decades. It wasn't until the 1860s, with Louis Pasteur's work on germ theory, that the medical community began to acknowledge the role of microorganisms in disease. Germs, once invisible and ignored, became central actors in the medical landscape. The network of actors in medicine, doctors, scientists, and public health officials, shifted to accommodate this new understanding. The flow of knowledge redefined how doctors, patients, and germs interacted, and handwashing finally gained traction as a medical and social obligation. Once hand hygiene was accredited by scientific networks, it spread rhizomatically, reaching hospitals, clinics, and homes. What started as a marginalized idea evolved into a social and medical norm, reinforced by health codes and protocols. In this network, technologies like soap and antibacterial products were now validated as essential tools for health, reshaping societal norms around cleanliness. French theorist Roland Barthes explored how everyday objects become mythologized, taking on cultural significance beyond their practical use. For Barthes, something as simple as soap isn't just a tool for cleaning, it's a symbol of purity, order, and civility. Hand-washing, then, is more than a medical practice. It's a moral and social obligation, deeply embedded in cultural mythology. This mythology creates a powerful narrative. Washing hands or using antibacterial products becomes a symbolic act in the war on germs. Cleanliness is framed as a defense against invisible invaders, transforming hygiene into a moral battle for purity and safety. As Barthes would argue, hygiene practices are not just about health. They reinforce societal norms about order, control, and the civilized way to live. Previously, we explained how the concept of schismogenesis describes how groups define themselves in opposition to others. Over time, we've developed a form of tribal aggression toward germs, framing them as dangerous invaders and ourselves as defenders of health. This us versus germs mentality reinforces the separation between us and the natural world, impacting everything from collective medical discourse to personal hygiene practices. This framing doesn't just affect our attitudes toward germs, it shapes the technologies we develop, the products we use, and the policies we enact. By positioning hygiene as a moral duty, we turn cleanliness into a ritualized, almost sacred practice. Technologies, germs, and hygiene practices become actors within a rhizomatic network, each functioning as a machine that influences societal norms. Through SAT and the influence of these French structuralist thinkers, we see that technologies aren't simply neutral tools. They're machines within a vast network, reshaping flows of information, validation, and social norms. The success or failure of a technology, like hand washing, depends not only on its technical merit, but on how it navigates the complex system of actors, accreditation, and cultural meaning. Each interaction within this network either strengthens or undermines the collective accreditation of the technology, and as Barthes showed, even something as simple as soap has become mythologized, reinforcing hygiene as a moral and cultural standard. In this way, the technologies and practices we adopt aren't just tools, they're stories we live by, embedded in a complex web of validation, myth, and meaning. Thanks for watching Social Theory Today. Join us next time as we explore more about the forces that shape our lives